Okay. So, this movie, Countdown. Countdown, right? Okay. So, this movie came out back in 2019 before the world went to shit and theaters were kind of, taken out of. Theaters are still open, but not where I am. I think I could have gone and seen this, but I don't think it came here. But I'm trying to. I don't think it came here. My theater didn't get certain movies. I don't think this one came. I don't remember. Maybe it did. I don't know. Then it came out on Blu-ray, DVD, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to buy it for $15 to $20, whatever it was. Then I found it on Netflix, and I kept pushing back and pushing it, and then finally I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this for Halloween Horror Month. So let's talk about Countdown. We're just gonna go ahead and sit down right away. Countdown is a movie about this app. It's an app that tells you when you are going to die. But if you basically it tells you when you're going to die, which is what the app is supposed to do. If you try to get out of that death though, you screwed and it comes for you. Yeah, a demon named Ozin. I guess we find out later. So after watching it, I liked the movie, but there are some issues. They clearly wanted to set up a franchise with this. They wanted a sequel. The way it ends, they wanted a sequel. And I don't know, the movie could have just continued on and on with everything that happens in this movie where they try to do something to stop it, it doesn't work, so they go on to the next thing and try to stop it again, doesn't work, and it just keeps going on and over again. There are some actors in this I recognize. Like right away, first scene of this is at a teenage party, and at one of the tables is Austin Zager. You may know from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He's also dating Kevin Smith's daughter right now. So, yeah, he's in this for like 5 minutes. We don't see him again. And I thought, oh, he would have been cool. But then again, I realized something watching this. Like, this seems like something that could have been like one of those teenager movies. Like what they did with Slender Man or to an extent Happy Death Day, something like that. But like, it's not really. Your main character is an adult. She's in med school. She's a registered nurse now at this point. There is the teenager, her sister, but then there's also this other guy, Matt, that she meets. It's also an adult. It's mostly adults, which I appreciated. And if we had Austin Zager, I feel like he would have been. It would have made like a teenager movie, which is fine. That's the foundation that Slash was built on. But like, I don't know. Slender Man and Wish Upon are the two that kind of just teenage girl horror movies that just are so superficial. This was a nice change. So we're at this party, and everybody's like, "Hey, have you heard of this app that tells you when you're gonna die?" They're like, "Okay, let's download it, and whoever's gonna die first has to take the shot." So it's this girl named Courtney. She's gonna die in 3 hours. Shit, can you imagine? By the way, there's an app. I looked it up on the Google Play. Don't download it. I didn't. It has the same look. It says entertainment, so I think it's just a gimmick for the movie. But I'm not gonna download it. I'm superstitious as hell right now. I ain't doing that. But so yeah, she says she's going to. Says she's going to die in 3 hours. I do like this opening. I was like, okay, this just looks pretty good. So we have her, and her boyfriend shows up, and he's like, oh, you don't have to drink it, I'll drink it. He starts drinking it all. And of course, this leads to him being drunk. And she realizes hey, he's drunk. My time's almost up. You know, I'm just gonna walk home. And then a thing pops up as she starts to walk home saying, user agreement violated. Something like that. What? Huh? And I like to play on that because, you know, you go into something for a user agreement, you say, okay, I just agree. You don't read it, you don't look at it, you just agree. And so I like how that, you know, that gets you. There's another movie that does that. No. It was an episode of South Park that they did that. They did a play on that where you signed a thing for Apple, for an iPod, or an iPad, and you agreed to be a part of a human centipede, and Cartman gets turned into a human centipede. Yeah. Yeah. No one ever has time to read those agreements, so I like it. It plays on that, like, agree right away. You don't look at it. It goes back to haunt them. So she walks home, and of course she still ends up dead, which to me, like, I understand. Like, it's not the app that kills you. The app is just there to tell you when you are going to die. That's very simple. They explain it later. It tells you when you're going to die. But if you violate that, if you're like, no, if you have something going on and time's supposed to die, no, I'm not going to do that, you know, I don't want to die, then, yeah, it's going to come get you. So she walks home and she's killed in the bathroom. And then we cut to the boyfriend has crashed into a tree and there's a branch all the way through the seat that she would have been sitting in had it happened. Then we got to our main character, Quinn, played by Elizabeth Lail, and it's really weird because in the trailers I thought it was, I swear, she looks very much like Emily Van Camp. She looks just like her. But it's not. Elizabeth Lail, who was Anna from Frozen, but on the that Once Upon a Time show on ABC. So I don't like her. She's fine. She's good in this. But so she is finally, you know, graduating stuff or whatever you call it. She's becoming a registered nurse, and so she's, you know, but her patient is the boyfriend that, you know, drunk driving in an accident. He's getting surgery on his leg, and now he's got the app, and this baffled me because it happens again with her. Like, after he dies, she has it, but then watching the kill count, I guess I wasn't paying attention enough. She downloaded it before he died, so not really. But he's like, I had this app, says I'm gonna die during my surgery, and I'm like, okay. Now we know he didn't have that when he crashed, so he must have downloaded it after. Because if he had downloaded it and says, you're gonna die in 3 hours, I'm gonna die tomorrow, well, what's gonna happen between 3 hours from now and tomorrow that's gonna make us die within a few hours of each other? So he didn't get that until after the car crash. So maybe, like, once it happened, he's like, well, I should check this out because maybe it's real, because she still died. Even though she didn't go with him, she still died. So everybody in the hospital, and this is where we get, there are a couple of recognizable faces here. Tashina Arnold, who you may know as, I believe she is the mom in the Bernie Mac show? No, Everyone Hates Chris. She was the mom in Everyone Hates Chris, and she was on Martin, and also she was one of the three singing women in Little Shop of Horrors. And then you have Peter Fasinelli, who was in Twilight and was disappeared off of Supergirl. Like, he was set up to be the main villain of season 2, but because they switched production companies from LA to Canada, the character was written out and never came back to the show. They never went back to that cliffhanger, which, well, they might have. I didn't watch the last season and a half. Once COVID hit, I kind of stopped watching some shows. Supergirl was one of them, but it never came back to his character. And he's a piece of shit in this movie, we find out. So, yeah. So, boyfriend dies. I don't, was it Derek or something? Something, I don't know. He dies. And so then she's supposed to go on this trip to see their mother's gravestone because she passed away recently. We find out later it's because when she was a teenager, she went to a party. Her mom went to look for her, got hit by a drunk driver. Happens. It's part of signifying that death is supposed to happen. That's the whole thing, is death's going to happen. It's kind of like a Final Destination thing, but not in a way. By the way, this movie's PG-13. So any death, mostly off screen. Like, you see, like the first kill, Courtney, she's ripped up into the towards the ceiling, and it just falls. There's a little bit of it, not much. And then it's very dark when boyfriend dies and he falls down the stairs. By the way, when he falls down the stairs, his phone falls first, and it's completely fine. The screen's fine. But when Quinn goes to get it later, it's completely cracked. There's cracks all over it. No, it didn't look like that when it fell before. No, you can't do that. And so she has to jerry rig it open. She has to go down to his corpse and fingerprint it, and then do the eye scan, and then just to see that the countdown went down to 0. Okay. So she cancels her trip, and that automatically, comes up. User agreement violated. So she's screwed. But, yeah. Then we get this subplot that only serves as a reason for her to not have to worry about her job when she's trying to take down this demon. Peter Facinelli's character, Dr. Sullivan, hits on her. Like, forces himself on her. She's like, no. When she tries to tell Christina Arnold's character, he comes in, swoops, goes, hey, Nurse Amy, I need your help with something. And so he kind of swoops her away. She's like, I'll talk to you later, but I'll just get through this subplot now. Later in the film, she goes with the guy, Matt, to the hospital. Why are they in the hospital? They're going to pick up something. I don't remember why they go there. Why do they go there? They go to the hospital for some reason. But anyway, it's revealed that Sullivan, the piece of shit that he is, usurped her and went to talk to the board on his own, and told them that she came on to him. And so she ends up getting suspended, even though she's trying to defend herself and tell them that it was him. No one believes him. No one believes her. And then later in the film, we find out that she wasn't the first one that he tried to do that to. And then eventually he gets in trouble. He goes to jail. But, yeah. So, she's freaking out about this, and she decides, I'm going to just get a new phone. She goes to her phone place. We get a cameo from Tom Segura, who's here in another scene, and then I guess there's a mid-credit scene that I didn't watch. I didn't realize there was one. But I guess there's a mid-credit scene. Going to Dead Meat. But, he gives her a new phone. This is the first instance of that, for her trying to figure out a way to stop it. So she gets a new phone. And this, I understand. She gets a brand new phone. She goes to walk away. Like, she doesn't even transfer a new number. She gets a new number. She doesn't transfer anything. No apps, nothing. And the app just pops on there. I don't think she even... Because when you get a new phone, you have to sign into stuff. So... yeah, she didn't even sign into it, so it's just apps on there. And, yeah. That was the first instance. But while there, there's the guy Matt I mentioned before who hears her freaking out. He's like, "What are you talking about?" So he goes out, talk to her about it, and they decide they're gonna work together to try to stop it. That's where they end up going to the hospital. I still don't remember why they went to the hospital. Oh, they went to talk to the priest, who is another sitcom actor, Valente Rodriguez, who is Ernesto Ernie Cardenas from George Lopez, and I gotta give it to him. He lost weight. He looks good, but he plays the priest here, and he goes to talk to him about demons, and he's like, "Well, I can refer you to someone, but I don't personally believe in that stuff myself." Aren't priests supposed to believe in some sort of demons? That's why they preach stuff. I don't know. That's why they're there. So they go to see this other preacher, played by P.J. Byrne, who you may know from Final Destination 5, which is weird because this movie could be compared to that, sort of. And he tells them that, yeah, this could be a demon doing this, and he tells a story about this demon named Ozen. There's a soldier, I guess it's in the Bible, the soldier or warrior, whatever it is, talks to this person, and he's going to go out to battle, and he wants to talk to this, he talks to this person, fortune teller, whatever she is, about if he's going to survive it or not. And so she gives him the information, but warns him, you cannot do anything with it. This is just information. I'm just telling you, you wanted to know, but you cannot try to avoid this. But, I'm sorry, hold on, I got my nose. So anyway, so the warrior sends his younger brother out instead, but his brother does not die. He actually helps them win the battle, but because he did not honor what he was supposed to, he still ends up dead. Exactly when he was supposed to, just not in the battle. So they go back to Tom Segura at the phone place, and they get him to look at the code by bribing him with their credit cards, which he says that's illegal, but he's into it, I guess. But it's like, I don't know, would you still be able to, they can still like say you stole them, I don't know, but I guess they're honoring it. But they go into the store, and he's looking up things again, and they find a whole bunch of codes. They find Latin, of course there's Latin, it's demons involved. And then there's a whole bunch of names, including Quinn's sister, who is played by Tabitha Bateman, who we saw earlier, but I didn't mention her till now. And she was Janice in Annabelle Creation. I was like, she looks so familiar. Who is she? It's Janice from Annabelle Creation. And so I guess she got the app after seeing it on her sister's phone. And she's supposed to die 2 minutes before her sister does, before Quinn does. And yes, this is very much like Final Destination. You're going to die here. It's like Death's Design. You're designed to die here, and she's going to die 2 minutes later. Matt's going to die now, and all that stuff. So, Tom Segura gives himself a naturally long life by putting things like 85 years on his life. Well over 100 by then, and then extra years on theirs. This is number 2 of them trying to change things. As I mentioned, it doesn't work. This is the beginning of the love interest stuff that just doesn't work for me, because I don't know, they act, by the time that, spoiler alert, Matt dies, she acts like she's been with him for like years at this point. But like, so as they go to leave, she's like, "Hey, do you really want to be alone tonight?" He's like, "No." And are we gonna cut them having sex? No. He sleeps on the floor, and then she sleeps on the bed. Um, so I forgot to mention there's a scene when they're at the hospital and she goes to talk to the review board. We get talked to by the review board. He goes to the bathroom to take a piss because you got to, where he's approached by a ghost of a little kid. So apparently, Ozen tortures you with um, visions of bad things from your past, which is why the dead mom tortures both daughters and this little boy who turns out to be his sick brother Jeffrey, who was sick and ended up dying brother, and he took his robot dinosaur toy, and that's why what it uses to get to him. Okay, and then we already explained her story. So they end up staying in the same bed together, I guess, but she wakes up and she notices that coming with her, and then she starts feeling creaking noises. Hearing creaking noises. She's like, Matt. And the door opens and it's Matt, and he's like, are you saying my name? But if that's Matt, who's got it? It's Ozen. He's got her. But then it's a jump. She's like, it's just a dream. And then the app goes off. By the way, every time the app goes off, it goes bling, ah, screaming noise or whatever. They get annoying after a while. But it has reversed their times back to their normal one, right? So they're still going to die, whatever. And the sister too. So the sister ends up like running from this thing. There's a babysitter watching her too. I don't know. She's supposed. How is she supposed to be? Like 16? She doesn't know babysitter. Well, depending on how they behave, I guess. I don't know. I think maybe the dad wants to avoid what happened with the older daughter, so he's doing. I don't know. There was a thing earlier where she catches her and her boyfriend in the closet. They were hiding or whatever, but I don't know. So they show up and all three of them go together. They go back to PJ Byrne, right? And he's like, "Did you get the code?" And I'm like, "Wait, you were waiting for them to bring the code from the phone?" So wait, they went there to get the code from the phone to bring back to him. But then the guy turned up their hours and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's done." Not even thinking to still bring the code to PJ Byrne. So he says, "Okay, the thing we can do is we can, do a devil's pentagram, and we'll use salt, some water supernatural, and then mix it with paint, which is kind of smart, so it can't get across, And this is attempt number 3 of something that doesn't work. They're using this, and they say, like, they look at the thing, and this is where you get the gist, where if you are basically being told, when you are going to die. You have gotten this app to know when you are going to die. But the user agreement states you cannot alter that. If you try to, you're still going to die. Ozen's going to come and get you. Basically is what it is. So, yeah. So, so they put Matt, and they all get in the middle of this thing, because Matt's going to die first. They're all in the middle of this thing. And it looks like it's working until we get some bullshits. Okay? The little brother shows up with the dinosaur toy, right? In the ghost form. And so Matt just walks out of the circle and ends up outside, and he gets hit by a truck, but no one was driving the truck because there doesn't seem to be anyone going, "Hey, what happened? I didn't even see him there." Nothing. He just gets hit by a truck and he dies, and we're showed just like the countdown. These things of them trying to stop it and it not working is just ways to keep this movie going. We also find that the sister is hurt, so they take her to the hospital, where Sullivan is checking on her, and then she realizes what she has to do. Because they realize that you have to make sure that you have to prove Ozen is a liar. So you have to go either beyond, someone has to live beyond what they say they're going to die, or they have to die before that. Or if they're not, yeah. So she decides that Sullivan is a big old piece of shit, she's gonna kill him. And again, this sequence only serves to lengthen out the runtime because she lures him down. She flirts with him and she lures him down. And so she tries to beat the guy to death with a pipe or something. But Ozen moves him out of the way. So this is just like, and it does it again where she goes to hit him and she gets flung back by Ozen, trying to stop him from killing him. Which I know it would prove you a liar, but you really want this guy to live any longer, Ozen? Come on. No, you're a man of your word, or demon of your word, whatever you are, but still. Come on. Get back. No, he doesn't die. Instead, because he's able to get away, the sister starts to get attacked because she's getting close to her time. Matt's dead. We don't get to see the PJ Burn anymore the rest of this movie, by the way. That's it for him. But so because she was going to inject him with a lethal dose of morphine is what it was, but it kept swinging her back and pushing him away, so she does it to herself, and they draw this out to the very last second. She's about to do it, and she sees a vision of her mom, and even though she knows it's fake, she still, and then just does it anyway. I'm sitting there going, come on already. Just inject it. Come on. You are literally holding us hostage here. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf there. She does it. She technically dies. And then this is attempt number 4 of something that doesn't work. And I'll explain why it doesn't work. Because this movie is bullshits on top of bullshits with them trying to weasel out of this scenario, because they want this to be the next Final Destination series. I guarantee they wanted to make a series out of this, thinking it would be something. I'll explain why it doesn't work after this, but so she had written instructions for her sister to inject her with something to wake her up. And it works. And so she's fine. And then we cut to them and their dad going to see the mother's grave. And everything is fine until she gets a notification on her phone that shows that Countdown 2.0 has downloaded onto her phone. But here is the thing, though. If it's the new app or if it's the... then she still has to go in and agree again to the terms. And, she wouldn't do that. So, I don't know. It's very weird how they ended it. I saw that and I went, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because obviously they want to turn this into a franchise. They beat it. You put these rules out there. If you prove Ozen a liar, you win. You cheat death. You're done. You're dead. Alright? My biggest problem with Final Destination movies, as cool as they are, was that they would supposedly defeat death, but then at the end be like, nope, just kidding. You can't defeat death. But this was different. This was a demon. You even see it crumbling at this point. It's just, no. Clearly that was added. And I think that scene was added afterwards. Because I think there's this and there's the mid-credit scene. I think it was added afterwards. I think it was supposed to end. I don't know. Because the dad's not even in the shot. It's just those two. So maybe they put that in. I don't know. But it feels like maybe it wasn't in the initial script. They're like, hey, this could be a franchise. Let's put a stinger at the end. Even though we just told you how to defeat it. What's the second one going to be? They're trying to defeat it again, and they do the same thing again, and then another one pops up, 3.0. I don't know. This should have just been a one and done. We don't need to try to... I don't think there's going to be another one, but I don't know. Oh, and the mid-credit scene, by the way, you got Tom Segura back with his date, who's played by his real-life wife. And his number takes back to where it was supposed to be, I think, but then the lights go out, so it's assuming he's going to die sooner. But if that's true, then Ozen would be lying. Unless the twist with this is that Ozen, that doing this didn't stop Ozen, but freed him from having to follow the rules. So now he can do what he wants. And now he's out revenge on Tom Segura because he changed it, so he's going to kill him. And he's a revenge on the two girls, right? That could actually work. And it would make sense, that, doing that, and it worked the way it was supposed to, and you broke the app. So now he's coming after you. Revenge, I don't know what it has to be another app, but still. This was fine. I'm going to give it a middle of the road. This was a long-ass review, I'll tell you that much. But I'll give it a middle of the road. But unlike most middle of the roads, I wouldn't mind rewatching this again. I think it's done very well. I thought this was a Blumhouse film. The trailers made me think it was. And then they do gimmick movies like Truth or Dare or Freaky or even Happy Death Day. But, so yeah, middle of the road. So what are your thoughts on Countdown? In my comments below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.